All right, we are so late, and it's my wife's fault. Had some technical difficulties in the form of me not having my stuff ready to go because I forgot that I was filming for a video the other day and messed all of this up. So we are back. If anyone could let us know if Mike sounds good, maybe you talk. See if she sounds good. Looks like we've got a few questions already coming in here. Just to let you guys know, what we're doing here is we're basically filming some videos, and you're going to be a part of it. So any questions that you have rolling in, I'm going to answer them, and we're going to take this live. That only a handful of you are actually going to see our process of making some of these videos that we actually put out. And we're going to take your questions and then cut them down into a more digestible format, cut out all the words that I create that are not words on this live stream, and make them into shorter videos. So that's what we're doing here. So you are helping us out, and I really appreciate it. And first, I'm going to have a little bit of drink. It's not water. Also, it's 12:30, so it's not alcohol either. I wish it was. Yeah, Ron said he can't hear Mrs. CQA, and the reason he can't is because she's not plugged in. 2 seconds. Thank you, Ron. Where's your cord? All right, now talk.
Hello.
All right, you should be on now. Ask Ron if he can hear you.
Ron, also whoever, can you hear me?
Oh. All right, there we go. Now she should be in. Check your mic, baby.
Hello, hello.
There we go. There she is. All right, that's also my fault. And even if it wasn't my fault, I would get blamed for it.
When I first saw your Ask Me Anythings, I thought your wife was AI, but now I know 99.99% certainty she's not AI.
I don't think it should be that high, though. Because I don't know why you would even... I think there's a lower percentage that I would even have the chance of being married to someone else. So I have to design an AI wife because...
Not an AI compliment. I see where you're going with that now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you just talk for a minute while the initial commercial goes that YouTube puts in people's...
I mean, we're already 3 minutes in. So
I know, but just do it so that I can get my questions ready.
Dean's in here. Ron's in here. Thank you guys.
This is here calling me out. And
dang it, man. Get it together. Yeah. Where's the one about our car lot? So I can go ahead and...
I don't know. It should be starred.
I can't do that and answer questions.
No. Wait. What are you? Wait. I don't. Okay.
Person say how do you contact this man?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Kenneth, does anyone know how to contact this guy? Look, you're in this live stream right now. You're contacting me. So whatever question you have, I will 99.999% answer it.
That seems high. Right, interim bliss. All right.
Probably closer to 80% chance of answering it. An answer you want, probably like 5%.
That also seems high.
All right. Is that enough time?
I will put one up and then I'll get finished getting caught up. A lot of questions came in right there at the end. So
yeah, well, we're asking for questions, so that's why.
That does track logically.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with this one. Is it a lot more time consuming to get work done at work and auctions now if people see you and want to say hi after getting to know you on YouTube?
It's like, I mean, a lot of people think, I mean, I know you guys that watch me on YouTube, you think you watch me all the time, you see like there's a lot of views, but really in the grand scheme of thing, like no one knows me. I would say that I've heard the term niche famous, where if I go to a car auction, yeah, if there's any car dealers there that have a YouTube app, like they know who I am. But like outside of that, no, I'll get recognized every once in a while if I'm walking in the mall or if we go to a restaurant or something. It's very, very rare. But even when I'm going to like these auctions and these dealers know me, like they're there to work. I'm there to work. They know that I'm there to work. So it's still a rare occurrence where somebody's going to come up and, for lack of a better word, like waste my time for a long time. Now it still happens. It still happens. But most people, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to civilization and the human race. Most people are self-aware enough. You know, I don't even want to say this, but let's keep going with this train of thought. Most people, I think, are self-aware enough to know that I'm there doing a job also, and not just showing face at an auction. But there is this random occurrence where I'll have somebody to start talking to me and they want to hold me forever. The more common thing that actually happens with taking away from workflow and what we're trying to do at our car lot is that we'll have some of you crazies will call Nate or Tara, who are they do sales in my shop. And I'm almost never in the shop. But they will talk to them forever about YouTube stuff or cars that they saw on one of my, and because they're so excited that they finally found my dealership and are talking to someone in my dealership, they'll hold them on the phone forever. It's so frustrating. Please don't do that. That's so aggravating. And this is why Nate and Tara hate you guys. Like they can't stand YouTube fans because you guys are needy. You're from California. You're not going to buy a car from us. We don't want you to buy a car from us because you can find something like what we're selling between here and California. I promise you there's something closer. But that would be the one situation in this whole call it famous or whatever you want to say about me, the niche famous kind of thing, that would actually deter us from working. And it's not even necessarily me, it's my shop. Like you're holding up sales or test drives from going out. You're holding up Nate from getting some cars pictured or some prices on cars. Please stop. Don't call the shop. I was about to say we don't like you. I love you. I think you're great. And you've given me a whole new crazy life that's really cool. But they can't stand you, especially Nate. Nate can't stand you. So
all right, is it my turn?
So stop calling the shop.
Okay, that's a gross exaggeration, but there are moments like some of the calls that we've gotten are not okay. So it's just occasionally, like some people have been great, and we've heard about some of those stories too. So if you have found the dealership and you've come and bought a car, no, we are not hearing from Nate and Tara how terrible you are. But there have been some phone calls that are just record level ridiculous.
We had one yesterday.
It was so bad.
Yeah, a guy called from California, would not let Nate and Tara speak. And he could not understand the fact that there's some cars that we get into our shop. And if we just get them and are able to get them turned around quickly and out on the lot really quickly, sometimes it takes a while for the auction to actually get us the title. It's still coming, but we don't have it in our building yet. And because of the laws and how North Carolina is, we can sell someone in North Carolina a car that we don't physically hold the title for, but we know it's coming. And we can get that car registered for that customer. But if it's out of state, I can't do that. I can't sell you a car if you're out of state and I don't physically have a title in my hand because you can't get it registered. So this is and I understand it's confusing. If we have a car, we should have the title. I get it. If you're from a different state, you don't understand that. No problem. But it should be easy enough to explain it, just like what I said to you. But there are some people, and this guy from California yesterday would not comprehend. If you're watching right now, hear me, sir. If I don't have the title in my hand, I cannot sell you that car. Stop yelling at Nate about it. It's not his fault. I promise you it's not his fault. It's the system that we're in, okay? And because the auctions don't immediately have to get us the titles as soon as they sell us a car, that's stupid too. I want them to give us a title as soon as they sell us a car. It's not the way it's set up. And so we have this loophole or whatever through North Carolina where we can sell these cars, but only to North Carolina residents. So that's the thing. That's a big time problem, big time hurdle that a lot of customers are calling us, especially now from across the country, because I'm the monkey on the camera right now. And for whatever reason, you guys trust me. I don't know what it is. But I need to figure out whatever I'm saying to you and then tell it to my wife because I need her. I need her on board of this. I need her in the team a little bit more. She doesn't respect me as much as you guys do. So
take out the trash.
Take out the trash. Take out the trash. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Anyway, and I hear Joseph. I understand what's confusing. You're right. It's not confusing, but for whatever reason, it's very confusing. And it led this guy to yell at my sales staff for like an hour yesterday.
It wasn't quite an hour. It was at least 30 minutes. And it's just so frustrating. You guys have a bad day at work with somebody yelling at you for something that's completely not under your control. It's just not a good day. I don't want our team to have to deal with that. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. And the problem is Nate and Tara, they feel like they have to be nice to you guys because you're fans of mine. And I tell them, look, you don't have to be nice to them. If you call, you, sir, I'm looking at you. If you call and you're a butt to my salespeople, I'm allowing them to be a butt right back to you. I've seen a couple comments on our video saying, well, I called yesterday and that lady that I talked to on the phone, I don't know how you sell any cars because she's so mean. And I just put in the comments, say, look, she's like the nicest person that I know on this earth. She is the most bubbly person. I hear her talk to customers. If she was mean to you, then I promise you it's something that you did. So anyway, that's just don't call us, please. And don't just randomly show up either, because you do that too.
Appreciate your support, but sometimes, also just take out the trash.
Just take out the trash, Brandon.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And that was completely a joke. That's from a stand-up comedian. Anyway, okay. I'm not going in order. Do you have a website? Do you accept payments? Do you ship vehicles to different states, preferably Mississippi?
We do have a website. We do not accept payments, and we do not ship. There we go.
Well done. Next question.
And I'll elaborate a little bit on that in just a little bit. We have a video idea that we're going to record during this whole session that we're in. Won't get to it yet.
That's what I was going to do next. So not yet.
We'll do it now. Okay, we'll pull up.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, pull up Ron's question then.
All right, Ron, you're up. Other than financing, what is the most common questions buyers have about your pricing?
Okay, so not everyone that's probably listening to this knows what our number one question is. So I want to go over the number one question first and elaborate on that a little bit. It's really crazy to think about with us selling cars that are $5,000 and under, and a lot of our cars that are out there on our lot are $2,500. They're $3,500. But our number one question that we get about these cars is, do you finance? Will you take payments? I don't have $2,500. Can I put $300 down and then make $300 payments for however long it's going to take to pay this thing off? And it's really something that, you see in a bunch of YouTube videos. I've put the title on it myself. It might even be the title of this video that you're watching right now. Everyone's broke. But the thing about it is, as it's gotten worse, as things have cost more over the last few years, this has not actually been a thing that's really new to my car dealership. And back, 10 years ago, most of the cars that are on my car dealership were $1,500, were $2,000, or $2,500. I didn't like to have cars that were over $2,500 on my car dealership. That's how much prices have increased over that 10-year span. But even back then, my number one question that I would get would be like, hey, I get paid $300 every week. Can I pay you $100 a week, take this car, and then just when I get it paid off, then it'll be done. But I need to make it in payments because I don't have any extra money. Living paycheck to paycheck, as much as we see and read about it right now, it's not really that new of a thing. Inflation's crazy. I know, I get it. I'm not going to argue with you on that, but I feel like people have been bad with money forever. And this is just something that is going to continue to get worse. And I feel like now we're getting a whole lot worse because of, one, social media and culture, because you see all these people spending money on certain things and, they got a great life because they're able to afford these things. And then you have everything in your face of what you can buy. So I think people are more foolish with their money now than they've ever been just because of that's in their face. Then you have inflation that has gone up. You can look at the stock market and look at the spike over the last 5 years. And that is going to coincide with companies getting a lot more money, things costing more. And that's just what happens. So you have this lower end of the spectrum. We hear about K-shaped economies all the time, where you have the haves and the have-nots. The haves are able to spend all this money, and the have-nots have none of the money, but they still want to spend the money. We've also went through this time period where, okay, there was a lot of free money out there. I call it free, but it wasn't free. But for these people, it felt free. And then they got this kind of lifestyle where they had money coming in, where they could spend a ton of money, and then it got shut off. And we still are not so far removed from people being able to live that kind of lifestyle without repercussions that people are still trying to grasp onto that. And we hear a lot of news about like survival debt, where everyone's tapped their savings, they've tapped their paycheck, and now just to buy groceries, like they have to go into debt, they have to use their credit card to do this. But just all going back to this crazy thing of, it just doesn't compute in my mind where, okay, you're looking for a $2,500 car. You can't scrape up $2,500 just to pay cash for this car. And it doesn't cost anything else. I mean, you have a little bit of taxes and fees on top of that, no doc fee, anything like that. So like a $2,500 car on our lot is like $2,630 or $2,640, whatever it is. And it's just insane to know that it's not just one occurrence. I can understand you saying, okay, well, maybe that one customer that's calling on that $2,500 car, maybe they fell on rough times, maybe the kids got sick, whatever the situation is. And I could understand, and I wouldn't even be having this dialogue right now if it was one-off situations here and there. No, every single day, it's the number one question that we get. And if we get 10 calls in a day, I bet 5 of them are, hey, do you take payments? Hey, do you finance? Hey, do you have some kind of layaway thing? I don't have the $2,500 right now, but I should be able to get it. I got a job. I'm paycheck to paycheck. I need to be able to make payments to even afford this $2,500 car. And it's crazy to think about that this is the world that we live in, that $2,500 is so unobtainable by just the average person trying to buy a car right now. And just the sheer volume of how many times we get asked this question, not on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. And you can pull Ron's question back up if you don't have it, that's fine.
I might. 1 second. Yep, I kept it.
Ron was asking about where some of the other questions, like what's the second most common question. What I actually did, actually pull his question down now. I'm trying to find it. This actually got us thinking about, okay, what are some of the common questions that we get other than just the finance related questions? So I actually asked my team, and they were able to put it in our like group chat. And I want to pull up some of the questions and address some of them that we get. What are type of payments that you take? That's along with financing. That was obviously the number one. How long have you had this vehicle? How long do you think the vehicle will be here? That's one we get a lot, because people who don't have the money, as we're going back to earlier, we don't offer financing. So then they're like, okay, well, I need some time to actually scrape together the money. How long do you think the car will be there? It's hard to say. If it's a desirable car and we get a lot of calls on a particular car, it's going to be gone almost instantly. Now, what we do with our car lot is if we have a car for longer than 2 weeks, then we drop it by $500. You think most of our cars are like $3,500. That's our sweet spot right now. Keep a car for 2 weeks, it drops down to $3,000. And have another 2 weeks, we drop it down to $2,500. I don't like stale inventory. So in a lot of cases, when these people are asking, okay, how long are you going to have it? If you're going to have it for another month and a half, then maybe I can save up that $3,000, that $3,500 to be able to buy the car. But the car's never there. And we can actually have some customers that get aggravated at us because they wanted a car, and then a week later we've sold it because they're like, well, I told you I was going to come next week to buy the car. I didn't have the money yet. And it's just interesting the fact that someone can get mad at us for not holding a car that they couldn't pay for. But that happens more than I would like to think that it would actually happen. Insurance is another big question that we get, and what one of my sales staff will say is it okay that I don't have insurance right now? They still want to buy the car, but they don't have insurance. They don't want to put insurance on it. And the reason why they don't want to put insurance on it, not necessarily because they don't like insurance or don't want to have it on the car, it's because they can't afford it. So in a lot of cases, we can have customers that come into our shop, try to buy a car, $3,500 car. And because they're either their driver record's bad, or just they're bringing up the wrong insurance company, or just insurance being too expensive in general, they can't afford to have the car and insurance. I've heard some cases where like they get quoted like $300 a month for insurance because their driving record is so bad. And this is not even just for like full coverage. Like this is for liability. That how many points do you have to have on your license where your insurance is going to cost $300 a month? Just saying that a customer that's coming in and trying to buy a $3,000 car from me, one, trying to get on payments first, then they get the money together, they probably not going to be able to come up with an extra $300 a month for their insurance. And insurance is crazy. Insurance is one of our biggest deterrents from a customer just backing out of a deal. They might love the car, love what the car's priced for, but the second they get on with Geico or was it National General, State Farm, and they get quoted what they're going to have to pay a month, they're like, no, I can't. I'm barely making money for my groceries right now. I can't add on another extra $150 or $200 a month for insurance. So they just can't buy the car. Let's go through some of these other questions right here. Do we sell insurance? No, I do not sell insurance. I thought about that one time. You remember that little thought process? Because we got hooked up with a company that was selling insurance to our customers, we would refer them, and they're like, "Yeah, every time we sell or we get insurance hooked up through them, then they kicked us back like $150 or $200."
I don't remember the amount.
Yeah, we actually started looking into it because it after a few weeks of it, it started to feel weird. Like we were getting all this money, and I'm like, okay, well, where's this money come from? And the insurance company's like, no, we're able to pay you because we're making money from them having the recurring whatever. And then I finally asked one of the customers about what their like deposits and stuff were. And oddly, they were just about $150 or $200 more expensive than just about every other insurance company. So we ended up cutting ties with it because I didn't like my customer being hit with extra money that I was going to actually be taking in. So we cut that out completely. And that led me to start thinking, okay, well, what if I just sell insurance and then don't charge extra deposit or whatever this company was gouging these customers? And there was a lot to go into actually selling insurance, and my wife didn't want me to have another job at the time, so we didn't do that. What kind of warranty comes with the car? We sell cars that are $2,500, $3,000, $3,500. There's no warranty that comes with these cars. There's something that's going to be wrong with this car, and we say to every customer that comes into our door that's about to buy a car, please, please, please go get it checked out by your mechanic before you actually buy the vehicle, because you're going to have to fix something on the car. We just want you to know what it's going to be. And we check these cars out as best we can. But Alex, my mechanic, who buys a lot of cars for me at auction too, he's one guy, and we run through sometimes 65 to 80 cars in a month. He's going to miss something. It's just going to happen. So we check out the cars as best we can, but we're not able to guarantee anything. We sell everything that we have on our lot as is, as a $2,500, a $3,000 car should be. Did I hit just about all the questions?
You didn't say that I had added one at the end. I'm surprised we didn't mention earlier, but do you negotiate?
Do we negotiate? So I'll say it's not a hard answer, but the trained answer that my sales staff will give is that we've already priced our cars as best we can. So no, we don't negotiate. And 90% of the time the conversation gets cut there. But I will tell you, if you want to actually get money off of one of our cars, here's how you do it. And I probably shouldn't be sharing this with you, and don't use it against me. So if you come in, pay full price. But if you want to get money off, here's how you do it. And you can use this against any other used car dealer out there, and it should work as long as they're, I would say, doing things how they really, really should be. But go get the car checked out by your mechanic and find something wrong with it. If it's a car that's under $20,000 and it's older than 5 years old, there's something wrong with the used car. All used cars have something. If they don't have something immediately wrong with them in that moment, there's going to be something that's going to be wrong with it that's coming up, another maintenance, whatever it is. So go find that thing. And then you bring that back to me, you bring it back to Nate, you bring it back to my sales staff, whoever's in there at the time, and say, look, I took this to my mechanic. It looks like it's going to need brakes in the near future, or it was coming up on time to need new pads like right now. So he quoted me, says it's going to be a $300 job. And so what I want to do is, I'm not asking you for the whole thing, but if you take $200 off of it just because it needs this thing, then I'll take it right now. And if you do that, I can almost guarantee you, unless for whatever reason Nate just cut the price on it, or if he had already told you this exact thing that was wrong with it and we had already priced it accordingly, you're going to get that money knocked off of that car, and we're going to sell it to you. So for us, or for any other car dealer out there, find something wrong with the car, get an actual hard number on what it would take to get fixed. Say, I'm not comfortable with buying this car in the condition that it's at, but if I buy it and then immediately get this thing taken care of, then I will be comfortable with it. It costs $300. It costs $500, whatever it costs. Can you cover half of it? And then I'll take it right now. If you do that, then you will be able to get money off at my car dealership and most others. But like I said, you watching this right now, don't use this against me.
A lot of times it's priced in. And so the thing is because the prices are automatically dropped $500 every 2 weeks, and except for certain times of year, but most of the year, because that's already happening. That's why we don't negotiate, because we're dropping that price. Chances are solid that the price has been dropped recently, or that it's just been put out.
We did have one guy come in a couple of days ago, and he was like, I know you drop your prices $500 every 2 weeks. So I don't want this car right now, but I'm gonna come in about a week and then see and get it for $500 cheaper, because he want to take a little bit off, and I wouldn't do it. And that car sold the next day. But I think it was to him. It was to him.
Yep, he was there with his daughter.
So instead of getting $500 off, I think he got like $200 off of it or whatever. We did cave a little bit, but yeah, there's been other cases where people that know what I do and how my price, even not from YouTube. I talk about how we do our price on YouTube, but there's people that just watch our website and they know every 2 weeks we drop cars by $500, and they'll wait us out. And sometimes they end up losing cars. I've had so there was a Honda CRV not long ago that he wants to buy it, but he says it's just a little bit too high. So I'm gonna wait now for you to drop it, and then I'm gonna come buy it as soon as you drop it. But he lost the car too, and that's usually what happens. But most people understand what we're doing, and they like it. And if they do want a car, they know usually not to gamble, to wait on it, because if it's a good car and it's a halfway decent price, it's going to sell. We move through a lot of cars.
All right.
That was a lot of words in a short amount of time.
Yep. I was about to suggest a break for water, or whatever that is.
Whatever it is.
And water. Okay. It's not water then.
This is vodka.
Yep. Okay. I am going out of order.
Okay. So I'm not looking at the order. I never look at the questions.
No, I know, but they are.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Title question. Is it safe to buy a rebuilt due to theft titled car?
Yeah, and usually it depends on the state, but usually those will be two different things. Like in North Carolina, you'll have a rebuilt title, or you'll have a theft brand that's on the actual title. So if it's by theft, the one thing that you have to be concerned about is that things have been done to the car, because we've had cars stolen, and here's what's happened in every scenario. The car was taken somewhere, and then it was completely ripped to shreds on the inside. They take parts out. People, from my experience in the cars that I've had stolen from me, they're not stealing them to sell a whole car, which blows my mind, because you got to think what they're getting out of these cars. They're taking the converters, they're taking the batteries, they're taking steering columns, they're taking any of the easy to grab like electrical modules, and they're just parting them out, selling them online, or taking them to a junkyard and selling like the converters to them. But what are they going to get from all these parts? If they part them out, they get the top dollar that they could possibly get from these parts. Maybe they're getting $800, maybe $900, and they're stealing a car for it. I haven't checked the laws, but I think it's like a 3 to 5 year sentence. So they're risking 3 to 5 years of their life for $900. That's what's actually happening. Now I know you're on drugs. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking, okay, well, I just need some cash. I need it right now. There's a car right here. It's a Kia or a Hyundai, and I know how to easily steal it. I watched a TikTok video. But for the times that I've had our car stolen, the window's been busted out and they've taken a lot of parts out of the car. So with saying that, if it's in that scenario problem, that's a car I probably wouldn't want to buy, just because it's had some things taken out. It's had some electrical wires ripped out, and you don't know what was put back in a good, in the correct way. And electrical problems scare me. This is why I always recommend that you never buy a flood vehicle, because there could be some weird water sitting somewhere, some wires that got into this wire, some corrosion that's happened somewhere, some grounding out of problems that from wires that you're not going to find until years later. And same can happen with a lot of these theft, because they're not carefully trying to take these parts out. They're ripping whatever they can rip out so they can easily sell it, get out of that car as quick as possible. There was one stolen Nissan Altima, I think I had. It was an older one, 4-cylinder. They're not the ones with the CVT, the good ones. It was like a 2005, I think. But it got stolen, and it got found the next night behind a Walmart. Seats were out of it. Battery was gone. Converter was gone. O2 sensor's gone. They left the coils. I'm surprised about that, because those are easy to sell. I guess because they're so cheap, they didn't mess with that. But some other sensors were gone. The whole steering column was gone in it. It's all they're doing is just ripping it to shreds and then selling what they can sell and get rid of it. Now, if you know the story on a theft vehicle, and it's just reported stolen, it was stolen by a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a family member, and it got reported one night and it just showed up the next day, might be okay. But I would be concerned about a theft vehicle. Now, if there's something that shows up at auction and I'm checking it and it seems to check out okay, that's not necessarily going to deter me from buying one, that or salvage, rebuilt, anything like that. I don't like them, and I'll pay less for a car like that because they come with higher risk. But of the brands that I can talk about here when we're talking about this kind of thing, Flood is the only one that I'm really hands off with. But you, as an average consumer, if you're not a mechanic, you don't know really what you're getting into, you're just trying to buy a car for a good price, I would probably stay away from all the different branding of titles and just buy clean cars. Specifically because you don't know exactly what to check, what to look for. And electrical problems can be a pain in the butt later on with theft and flood. And then structural damage with total loss cars can be dangerous if the frame's bent. So there's even been some scenarios where we've seen cars where they're just bumped just a little bit in the back, but it was enough of a shock wave to actually accordion the car just a little bit. You couldn't tell on the outside at all, but the frame was actually had a crease in it. So even little stuff like that, even if it looks great on the outside, you really need to have someone that knows exactly what they're looking at to check it, get it up on a lift, and make sure it's safe. So avoid electrical problems and safety concerns with frames when you're looking at anything theft, salvage, total loss, flood, anything like that.
You're getting congested a little early today.
I can feel it in my nose.
I'll do a couple that are shorter answers.
Okay.
So you can kind of take a few more breaks.
A little break.
Okay. 03 Toyota Avalon with 240,000 miles. No rust on the body. Is the rear suspension worth fixing?
I would guess that if you're going to do rear suspension on that thing, it's probably going to still cost you between $500 and $1,000, unless you can do it yourself. And in that case, is a 2003? Was it 2003? We lost it. I think it was
so. I think so.
I think it was a 2003. A 2003 Avalon with 240,000 miles is probably only worth between $1,500 and $2,500. If it's super nice, super clean, everything is perfect on it. I mean, as perfect as a car with 240,000 miles can be, no rust. Max you're going to get out of it, or could go find it and buy it for, it's like $2,500. So with saying that, and all of those things align, just like I said, it is because you can't go replace the same car for $1,000. And the thing about it is that car can run for another 100,000 miles. Those are easy 350,000 mile cars. You just have to gauge the condition of the car. And if it's in good condition, and if there's nothing else that you're going to have to fix on that car in the short term, then yeah, it's probably worth it to fix it. You just have to look at replacement cost of what you're doing. We have to do this kind of analysis every single day when we're looking at some of these cars that we're fixing. We'll have like a 2005 Toyota Camry that's got a blown motor, and we've got $2,000 in it. We can sell it for $3,000, and the motor is going to cost us $2,000 to $2,500, and in that case, we're going to have way more money in it than it's even worth. In those cases, we don't do it. And you, as a consumer, or just the regular person trying to figure out if they can fix a car and if it's worth it, you got to do that same kind of math equation. And if it's only going to cost you $1,000 for this car to be as perfect as it can be, then yeah, you can't go buy that car for $1,000. Even the flip side of it, I mean, you could fix it and then sell it, and then you still, because right now, if the rear suspension's blown out of it, like, you're not going to be able to sell it for $2,500. But if you put $1,000 worth of work into it, you would be able to sell it. And that's the way you got to look at it. Just a cost analysis on whatever you're doing, and if it's worth actually selling it. And it depends on if you're trying to sell it yourself or if you're trying to drive it yourself. And I would argue that if you already have the car, you already know the history of the car, then it's probably worth a little bit more to you than what you could even go buy it for, just because you already have the car, you already have it registered, you already know the car, you know when the maintenance has been done on it. That car's worth more to you than any other person on this planet. So I would probably spend the money on it.
One quick note on that. That's talking about a 2003 Toyota Avalon. I'm not sure that would be the same answer for just any car, or would it be?
No, like if you're looking at, because I mean, like a Ford Taurus, a 2003 Ford Taurus with 240,000 miles, that car's worth $300. So even in perfect working condition, that's a $500 car max. So no, it's going to be different depending on what the car is. It's just that 2003 Avalon, they're worth money because people like them. They know they're reliable. But cars that aren't reliable or have history of bad transmissions or undesirable, like my beloved Ford, I love a Ford Taurus, but no one else loves a Ford Taurus. So that's why they're only worth $500 if they've got that many miles on. And also honestly, the Avalon's a way better car than a Ford Taurus too. But yeah, you just got to gauge on what you could replace. It's all about the replaceability of the vehicle at the price point of what you're going to have to actually pay for it in this market.
And that's a follow-up. $1,200 what it would cost for the repair, and they just took it to Utah and back to Chicago.
That's a good car then. I would fix it. Unless you're just trying to get rid of the car. But even if you're just trying to get rid of the car, like I'd still fix it, because then you'll be able to sell it for a little bit more. And I mean, even just to have an extra car, like that's the perfect extra car just to have sitting around, is that 2003 Toyota Avalon. I love them. I love them.
Okay, sorry, I had a bunch of comments and I'm not ready for the next one. One second. Let me just get a quick one. Have you thought about franchising?
No, Ron. I haven't thought about franchising. Why would I? I'm miserable as it is. Why would I want more of this? You want more of this, baby? No, I don't want any. I'm already doing videos here on YouTube. Like, I don't like selling cars. I don't want to be a car dealer. Now, I want to be 2 car dealers now? No. There was one short period of time where we opened up, we had 2 separate dealerships, and that lasted exactly
1 month.
1 month, and we couldn't handle it. we couldn't keep up with the inventory that was going to take to run both spots. Like we couldn't find enough cars. Now, if we went to a different market, then I would have access to a whole another like slew of cars that I would be able to put on the lot at the price range, and I wouldn't have to directly compete with my other car dealership. But then I got to trust somebody else to run it, and I can tell you the worst thing about business is the people. Like it's we have a rock. Don't get me wrong. We have a rock star team right now, but we've hired and fired like probably 30 people. It's maybe not that high, but it's over 20.
It's probably over 20.
It's over 20 that we've hired and fired, and they've just been the wrong people. And that's the worst. And right now we have Nate, Tara, Alex. We have a part-timer that comes in, and my wife and myself, and that's it. And we're running as thin as we can, and my team is stretched as thin as they can. And I need to hire probably one or two more people. And I'm scared to death to do it. I don't want to do it, but my team's getting overworked, and we have to have more people. But I can't stand bringing in new people. I can't stand doing this. Okay, are they going to work out? They're not going to work out. What's their work ethic like? What's their attitude like? I hate that. I know what I have right now, and it scares me to death to know that I'm going to have to hire. Sorry, hitting the mic. That I know that I'm going to have to hire somebody in the near future. So if you need a job, I mean, don't call my shop because they don't like you, and they would never hire a YouTube person or someone that found us from YouTube
unless it's Ron.
Yeah, but email me. Email me if you want a job and you're near our area, and then I'll tell you no. Yeah, we need somebody. We need somebody just to drive cars. That's all we need. And I'm scared to death to hire anybody new, because one person can decimate the whole team. And we've seen it happen before. One bad attitude into the shop can just destroy the whole psyche of the whole team. And I hate people so much, and I hate being a boss. I won't say I'm not a good boss. I think I am a good boss, but I don't enjoy being a boss. That's the right phrasing for that. I'm gonna make my wife start firing everybody that needs to be fired.
I don't think we want that. So, okay. Next question. Are you selling more of your high dollar vehicle or the super cheap stuff?
Right now, like we don't have a lot of, I call it expensive stuff for our dealership. We sell $5,000 and under. So our expensive stuff is between $4,000 and $5,000. It'd be $4,000 or $4,500. And then our really cheap stuff is $2,000. It's every once in a while we'll have a car we can sell for $2,000, but it's $2,000, $2,500. And I would probably even venture to say that like $3,000 is now a new cheap car for us, and our norm is like $3,500. What I will say is lately that car prices have, at least wholesale for the stuff that I'm buying, they've been getting a lot cheaper over the last. I don't know if it's that other car dealers are really weak right now that are in my range, if people aren't buying cars. We haven't had a crazy slow time here lately. We're probably only going to break even this month, would be my guess. But this is the middle of summer, so that's normal for us typically. But I would say we've been doing better this year than we were last year. And I think last year was a 6-month time period during summer where we didn't make any money. I didn't lose any money, but I didn't make any money. This summer, I think we will actually make some money. It's not going to be great, but I think we will be able to actually make a little bit more money. Seems like sales are up a little bit more than what they were last year. But I think that's all on the back of us being able to price stuff cheaper this year than we have in years. Like we're getting so many cars right now. Myself and Alex, my mechanic who goes to buys cars from me, after every auction, it seems like we're going to each other and being like, okay, well, there weren't a lot of cars at the auction, but the stuff that I bought was dirt cheap. Like I bought a 2014 Hyundai Sonata 2 days ago for $700. It had 183,000 miles. There's no way a year ago I would have been able to buy something like that for that price. It was good too. That would have been a $2,500 car a year ago. And I know you say what you want to about Hyundais. I don't love them either, but we sell them, and our customers love them. If it were up to me, I would only have Toyota Camrys and that's it. But I wouldn't be able to make any money if I only had Toyota Camrys on my lot. I have to buy what my customer likes. My customer likes Hyundais and Kias for whatever reason. But I mean, $700 for that car is a steal from what that I've seen in the last year. We had another. There was a Pontiac Grand Prix 2007. So one of the newer body styles. I know Pontiac doesn't even exist anymore, but their cars are still fine. They're just GM products, same parts and everything like that. Had 50,000 miles, and I paid, I want to say it was like $1,300 for that car. So it was a clean car, and it's going to be an easy $2,500, $3,000 car on our lot. And it seems like the prices just continue to get better as we go on. And I don't know really what is causing it, because we're not getting all that many cars show up at auction. If anything, it might be a tick less than what we've been seeing lately. Which would mean that it seems like those kind of cars would bring more money because the supply is down, and there's still going to be the same amount of dealers that are trying to buy the same amount of cars. Unless these dealers are so slow because it's the middle of summer, because things just are slower now, and they're just not showing up at auction. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on specifically right now. And I know I'm in a small bubble here. I'm in central North Carolina, and what I'm seeing here might not be the same thing that's happening across the country. But I'm probably a pretty good gauge of it, just because we're near we're near Charlotte. So it's a big metro area. So it's not like we're in the middle of nowhere where there's no people or no dealers. There's dealers everywhere. So I can't put my finger on it. All I can say is I know that things are getting better for my dealership in my price range. And it seems like because our stuff's cheaper, we're able to sell a little bit. We're still getting the number one question is still, do you finance? So people don't have more money. We're not selling more cars right now than what we have been in the last 2 years because people have more money. It's just purely, I think, off our prices being like almost $1,000 cheaper than what they have been over the last 2 years. And I hope it keeps going, because this is my perfect scenario where we could get back to, like in 2019, we were pushing almost selling 100 cars a month. Right now, I would guess we average, if you look at our slow times and our fast times, we probably average 65-ish cars. I think we sold 800 and something cars last year.
That's real close.
Yeah, so we're averaging like right around 65 cars a month. I don't know what the 800 divided by 12 is, but that sounds like it's got to be close. So I mean, if we can get back to where we're selling like 80 cars a month, like we'll be doing real big things. And I think we can get close to that. It's not going to take all that much more for us to be able to do it. It's more about us having the cars, and we don't have enough hands. I don't want to hire anybody. So we need cars to come out quicker than what we've been getting them out. And that's a fail on my part as a business owner, but it's just so hard to hire the right person, and we haven't yet. So that's something I'll have to work through too. So you'll probably hear a video here in the near future about me whining that I can't get cars out fast enough because I'm so reluctant to bring someone else on our team because I hate people so much.
Yep. So just a little bit of behind the scenes. This morning, I was taking cars to get them detailed.
Yeah, my wife was getting cars cleaned, not detailed. We took an auto bell. So
okay, well, sorry,
car wash.
That's the way I categorize it in the software.
Right. Yeah.
Car cleaning. I got it cleaned.
Yeah, my wife was taking. That's how bad we need help right now. Is that my wife was taking cars to Auto Bell this morning to get them washed so we could get them out on our lot. That's where we are right now.
And took pictures of one. It might be posted now.
Yeah. So I'm a failure as a business owner right now because I have to get my wife to do stuff like this.
Yeah, you didn't have to get me to. You're telling me that I shouldn't have to, and I agreed with you, and then I went and did it. So that's how it works. Here's a quick, easy one. What do you drive?
I have a Tesla Model S, and my wife has I can never remember the year. I think it's a 24.
Yep.
A 2024 Honda Odyssey with the stupid start-stop. I got an email from a guy today that saw our video come out yesterday. I was complaining about your start-stop eco thing.
You do that a lot.
Yeah, and he gave me the fix for it. So we're going to look into that. Sounds like it's just something we plug into your OBD2 and it just overrides it.
That would be nice, but I think you're more excited about it than I am.
I am.
It's not that big
I
of a
hate it.
deal. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
No, somebody said keeper. That's right. I am a keeper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you think the used car market has bottomed out? The other day I saw a local Honda dealership asking $5,999 for a used Honda Accord in really nice shape.
I don't think it has. I think we're in a bit of a lull period right now because it's summer right now right now is one of the slowest times during the year. So you are going to see more pain for used car dealers. I'm able to see stuff a lot cheaper at auction right now because what it seems like is a lot of these used car dealers are slow right now. What I will say is that we typically pick up again right at fall after kids get back into school. People are done with vacations. For whatever reason, it seems like they have a little bit more money to spend. So we'll have a little bit of a pop again in like September, October. And then November, December is when it'll actually bottom out for the year. So as far as you're talking about like bottomed out on the grand scheme of things, long-term scale, I don't think so because you got to look at the economy too. And the car market's going to really follow what people are able to do with their money, how much wealth people the perception of wealth, and put it that way. So if you have housing prices where most people store what they perceive as their wealth, if you have housing prices that come way down, which they're continuing to go down, we're having volumes that are like awful in the housing market. So later on this year, it's probably going to get worse because the housing market, from what I understand, also slows down around the holidays into the year. If you have that, then people are not going to want to spend as much money. If you have something with the stock market where we're seeing a big rout here lately, now when you're watching this, it might be that the stock market's popped up another 10%. Well, who knows? But right now, as I'm recording this right now, NASDAQ has not been doing good. Tech stocks not been doing good. We've had chip stocks that have not been doing good. AI stocks have not been doing good. So that's dragging the whole market down. So if you have this continue, then you have another aspect of the perception of wealth that's going to go down. And I know what I'm talking about. Like my consumers, this doesn't affect them whatsoever because they don't have a lot of assets. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. Typically these are paycheck to paycheck people, and they ask us if we can sell them a car on payments, even though it's $2,500. But even when you get that, if you have this whole, say it's not a cultural thing, but the whole the spectrum of what the U.S. is feeling, if it's all very negative, you're going to have people just hold on to the money just because the perspective of how they're looking at their money. They think everything's getting more expensive. They think they have less dollars to spend. They're going to hold on to their dollars, and what it creates is this self-fulfilling prophecy. Even if it's not a real thing in everyone's pockets, they just stop spending money. And if that happens, that's when you can potentially see a bottoming out of, I say assets. I mean, you can look at stock market, you can look at housing, but I don't like to call a car an asset. It's a liability, if anything. But when you get all of this destruction of perception of wealth, then that's when people stop spending money. And that's when you can have things really hit the floor of, okay, it's only going to go down to the price of what someone will pay for it. And if no one's paying for it, then it's just going to keep on going down until it gets to some ridiculous price that's low enough where somebody's like, okay, well, that's dirt cheap, so I can buy it there. We're not there yet. So when you're calling a bottom, that's what the kind of thing that you're looking for. I don't think we're there yet, mainly because I can see the economy getting a lot worse. I can see people getting even tighter with their money than they are now. There's a world where inflation just continues to run hotter than it even is right now. Gas prices, with all the geopolitical stuff that keeps popping up every other day, then we can have that go even higher than what it is right now. So if you get all of these things that happen, and it's going to hit people's pocketbooks, and that makes used car prices, new car prices, manufacturers have to add incentives, everything in the car market will go down as people spend less dollars. Now, you can have the opposite happen where geopolitical stuff fixes itself tomorrow. You can have the stock market seemingly find a bottom, shoots up. We got earnings that could come in good. You can have housing prices that turn around. I don't foresee that happen because there's just not any volume. But let's say you get interest rates that get popped down because of some emergency situation or whatever. then you could see the segment of when, okay, everything goes up and also used car prices would follow that trend. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I think there's too much bad for everything to reverse course right now. But I mean, maybe things get better. Maybe we can have some good news hit the market. Maybe we can have some things overseas that stop happening that are happening right now. I'm not going to get into politics with any of this stuff, but you understand what I'm saying. If that happens, then you could have a bottom around here, but it just doesn't seem very likely. There's a lot of things that have to go right. And there's been a lot of things that have been going wrong, and there's a future that looks like a continued badness that's just an aura around everything and everyone's money right now.
Water break.
All right. We've been doing this 55 minutes. That's pretty good.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna call it now. Probably going to aim at like maybe an hour and a half. I would like to do these more frequently and not try to go like 2.5 hours every time we do it.
All right. I'm gonna try to get a couple of questions we don't normally get. I don't know if they're great for a video or not. I'm a bad judge of that.
Okay.
I'm not the YouTuber. What does your state inspection entail?
So with us, we're in North Carolina. What we have an emissions inspection, we have safety inspection. So with safety, in a lot of states, we'll have safety inspections. So I'll talk about that first. With our safety inspection, they check tires, they check your windshield wipers, they check your lights that are on your car. They make sure you have a rear view mirror. They make sure that you have a driver's side mirror. You don't have to have a passenger side mirror, but you have to have a driver's side mirror. And they check, I think, the tint on your car and seatbelts. I might be missing something in there, but I think that's pretty much everything they check. They also check the alignment of your headlights, which I always thought was weird. If they work, they work. But I guess alignment of the wind, if they're pointed up, then they can blind other drivers when they're driving by. So actually, that does make sense. And in us, and with North Carolina, we have also emissions inspections with cars that are 20 years and newer. So right now we're in 2026. So cars that are from 2007 and newer will have emissions inspections also. And what that means is they'll actually read the computer in the car. They call it an OBD2 reader. And it's able to send back a signal to this scanner and show you that there are no problem codes in a car. You think what problem codes could be? Like O2 sensors. It could have converters that are sending out bad readings. Mass airflow sensor is one that's very common with us. EVAP codes are very common, even like not having your gas cap tightened enough, or if the seal that's on your gas cap can like dry rot and have some bad air that's leaking out of the actual system. Car will detect that. And if they detect any of that stuff, it'll throw the check engine light on. The bane of my existence and what costs me more money than any other thing on this planet is a check engine light. And if the check engine light's on, it's not going to pass emissions inspection, and I have to get whatever that is fixed. So we go through that. We have to fix whatever it is, and then we have to, after we fix that car, clear the code, and then hopefully it gets fixed. But then we drive the car for a while. Monitors set in the actual car. This is a whole nother system. Other than even just sending the problem codes, there are monitors that check each and every system that is coordinated with this OBD2 system, and they have to set before we can actually get the car inspected. So you think if there's a O2 sensor problem, then we fix the O2 sensor problem, but then we have to drive the car X amount of miles for the car to automatically check itself and then say, okay, O2 sensor is no longer throwing out an issue. So now we'll set that monitor, and they put a little check mark by it. And as long as all those monitors, except for one, has been completely set and the check engine light hasn't come back on, no problem codes have set again, then we can actually get that car inspected. So bane of my existence right now is emissions inspections, and because there can be like an O2 sensor, if it's just throwing a little bit of a faulty reading, just because the sensor's bad, not because the car is actually doing something it's not supposed to, because that actual sensor is bad, it doesn't affect how the car's driving whatsoever. But if that sensor's bad, it costs me time, energy, money to actually fix this sensor, even though the car is going to run exactly the same before it was fixed and after it was fixed. So what's actually happening in North Carolina, hopefully soon, is I think they're talking about a law to change it where we're going to get rid of emissions in North Carolina, and I can't wait. Now, the downside of this is that a lot of the cars that we sell, they're just going to have a check engine light on them, and we're going to have a list of what's going on with the car when the customer comes in there and say, okay, well, I see this car for $2,500, but I see the check engine lights on it. What's going on? And we'll have to pull out our little list and say, okay, well, this one has a bad O2 sensor, and that's what's wrong with it. It's not changing how the car drives. It's still a safe car to drive. You're just going to have check engine light on. And I understand if you don't want to buy it and you're very wary about this check engine light. So many people are so terrified of a check engine light, but in a lot of the cases, that light doesn't affect how the car drives whatsoever. The problem that's causing that light to come on is not going to affect how that car is driving, but people are just terrified because, and it's for good reason. They don't know. And it says, check your engine. And it's got this little flashing light that has an engine, and they just assume, okay, my car's about to blow up. It's not the case. So when that changes, it's going to be an element of, okay, it's not going to waste us so much money, because a lot of those problems that aren't going to really stop how the car functions, it's going to be more of costing us time then, because we have to explain to a customer, okay, this is what's going on with it. If you want to fix it, I wouldn't fix it on a $2,500 car, but if you want to fix it, it's going to cost about this much money. We're not going to fix it, and we're selling it as is or whatever, and take it to your mechanic and know what you're getting into before you get into it. So it's going to cost us time on that side of things, but it's going to actually end up saving me a lot of money, because a lot of these fixes that we don't need to fix because it has nothing to do with the car, we're just going to be able to sell it like it. And in a lot of cases, these cars that I'm going to sell, they're going to be able to be sold a lot cheaper. So I think it's a net positive for our customers. It's a net positive for us. And I can't wait till they change this. And I think it's going to be later on this year, but I have no clue. And I will be making so much more money, but just not because we're making more money per car. We're going to be making more money because we can turn cars faster. Right now, we can have drive cycles to get these cars ready just after we fix something. The time between when we fix it to when the monitors go ready in the system, it could take 200 miles. And you got to think how many cars I'm running through a month. There's 65 to 80 cars a month that we have to get ready. If there's probably a fourth of them that we have to do this kind of thing on, and each one of them are taking miles and miles and miles. And think about how much time that takes us to drive these cars to get them ready to actually get inspected. Just that simple little time period takes us so much time. So we're going to be able to make so much more money just because we're going to be able to turn and burn so much faster by only getting these cars inspected for safety and not emissions.
Okay. I wanted to add a couple notes there. One, let's say the O2 sensor, and it is just the sensor. That's not always what it is. It can be another issue, but it can be just the sensor. And we do see that on a regular basis. I promise I put in a list of repairs. And a lot of times that's the only thing that had to be changed to fix an issue. So O2 sensor goes out, and then we have to reset it, which means unplug the battery, reset all the codes, and all those codes have to hit. In order for it to be able to be inspected, you can't have more than 2 incompletes. And I'm not the only one. We're not
one
the ones
incomplete.
that know that. Sorry, 1 incomplete. Some of those drive cycles are brutal to get monitors just set to ready. Some of them take a couple 100 miles.
Yeah.
You have to drive it, and that takes time. That takes an employee. That takes gas, and it might still come back on if that's not the issue, or we didn't find the right cause or whatever. So sometimes it ends up happening more than once. And I
want to pull this up. So they're disagreeing about the O2 sensor. It could absolutely mean it's a bad cat, or it could absolutely mean that car's running too rich or running too lean, especially on the back end sensor. But the thing about it is most of the time, and I don't know if you're a car dealer or you're a mechanic, but I'm dealing with hundreds of these situations every single year. And in most cases, it's literally just a bad sensor. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. If it is running too rich, if it is making the car run rough because of the reading, because it's not the problem is throwing the actual sensor off. It's not something that we have to replace the O2 sensor. I'm talking about when we have to actually replace the O2 sensor because the sensor's bad. That's the issue that I'm talking about, not that the cat's bad. Like if the cat's bad, we're not replacing the O2 sensor and the problem's fixed. We have to replace the cat. So that's what I'm talking about, and not if there is an actual issue. I'm talking the thing that's detecting the issue. We have to fix the thing that's detecting the issue. Not if there's 10 cases with this same situation, 8 of those 10 cases, I'm fixing the thing that's detecting the issue and not the actual issue. And only 2 times is there an actual issue. That's the kind of percentages that I'm talking about here, and why it's such a pain in my butt, because I'm not fixing the car. I'm fixing the thing that's telling the car that the car's wrong. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did say that a little bit off. I just want to be clear. It's not that we're not fixing the issue. It's that there wasn't an issue because it was being reported as an issue because of a faulty sensor that is kind of a flag. But there was 2 other things I want to say. This is a major topic.
Wait. Let me give another example. If your house is 70 degrees on the inside, so your AC is working. It's hot day outside. Your AC's on. Your house is 70 degrees inside, but your thermostat is saying that your house is 90 degrees. I have to fix that thermostat and not the actual AC 8 out of 10 times, and only 2 out of 10 times is the actual AC the problem. Does that make more sense?
Yes, but in order to know that, like in this one, you could just check the temperature. But I mean, like in the situation with the cars,
well, with the car, you can check. I mean, you can drive it. The car's driving fine.
Well, yes, yeah. But I mean, it's a little easier. But it happens so often that it makes sense to be like, all right, first let's just see if it's a bad sensor, and so we'll replace that. If it still doesn't fix the issue, there's still this code that pops up, then we know there's something else wrong. So 2 other things.
And we don't reset the battery so the car will pass inspection. We have a code reader that will actually reset the codes, and we have to still drive it to get all the monitors to set before the actual, I think she said, reset the battery. You can unhook the battery terminals and it will reset the light, but you can't just get it to automatically pass inspection if the light's off. You still have to drive it so those monitors will actually set. We've been accused before, and every car dealer alive has been accused before of, okay, well, the check engine light came on later after I bought it, so they must have just cleared it so they could sell it to. It's not how inspections work. The actual monitors have to set. So yeah, there can be a lot of cases where if a car sits on a car dealership lot and it's not driven for a while, stuff can clog up, and then once you actually start driving it again, that light can pop up because there's other problems that are going on with the car. But no, there's no situation where you can just clear a light and go get inspected. It used to be that case, 30 years ago, that you could do something like that and have your old car, and they didn't have where you have to get the monitor set. They just need the check engine light not to be on. It's not like that anymore. It's at least in North Carolina where I am, you have to get all these monitors to set. The only way to do that is by driving it. And if there is a problem with the car, that light's going to pop while you're getting those monitors to set.
Yep. Hold on, I had one more and I might have lost it. Oh, no, this is a good. So I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that check engine light is a magical little indicator that just has this ability to know if there's anything wrong with the engine at all. And that's not what it does. So
transmission can be completely ripped out of a car and the check engine light won't be out won't turn on it.
And it's just not a magical indicator of good or bad. It's just not how it works. And a lot of people will think that. So we can get a lot of questions and issues and say, hey, you knew there was this thing, or we tricked you because, whatever, if there's some kind of a question mark. And I'm not talking about us, car dealers in general. Even the dishonest ones will have that unfairly applied to them. Okay. That was a lot of them. You had a water break.
I need a little bit more though.
Okay, go for it.
That was a long answer too. The problem is we're not going to be able to use that one. That's not a good clickable video right there.
I mean, I thought there were some parts of it that would be good in one.
We'll put it on back into something else.
I mean, I thought you were supposed to be able to make anything interesting.
No, I can't make. I can make anything interesting. I can't make these doomers out here want to click on it though. But, yeah, I'm talking to all you that are watching this. You only click on the negative crap.
But if you
frustrating. Click on good videos. Can you do that sometime so I can not title them Into the World, please? It's your fault.
Yeah, I was
sir.
about to say that with sarcasm, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do one more really easy one here. I own a 2009 Lexus ES350 with 170,000 miles. It's a baby. Should I sell it or keep it? It runs perfectly.
Keep it. Next
Keep
question.
it. I want it.
Keep it.
Sub, since you were a little one channel dude anyway, what's your opinion in all vehicles that were made from 2020 till now? Eventually those will get to be your market. Are they all garbage?
So the problem with a lot of these vehicles that have been made in the last 5 years is because we've had this weird thing of this production problem that hit us like during COVID. Like car market's never really seen this before, where we had supposedly no demand that was going to happen, and then all the demand in the world, and these manufacturers had to catch up. So what had to happen? Well, they had to cut corners to get cars out. They didn't have the chips to produce all these vehicles. So there's going to be a lot of cars in 10 years from now, when if I'm still a car dealer. I hate selling cars, so I hope I'm not, but if I'm still a car dealer in 10 years from now and I have to buy these cars, I'm going to have to look for actual functionality of a lot of these vehicles. There are so many vehicles like GM. I remember they had to put notes on their brand new vehicles saying, okay, this car has the buttons and it says it has the functionality of heated seats, but the chips aren't available. So we just put them out without the heated seats. So they literally have the button on the side of the seat for the heated seats or on the dash or whatever it is, but it's not a functioning thing in this actual vehicle because they didn't have the chips. But these manufacturers had to just put the cars out because they couldn't get cars to dealerships. Everyone wants them. Dealerships were empty. And so they cut the corners. And heated seats is an easy example, but the things that I'm more worried about is you got to look at the recalls that have happened over the last 3 or 4 years. And while I don't know that it's a direct correlation with them cutting corners to get vehicles out, it seems to line up pretty well. We have motor issues. Like I've been doing this for 14 years now, buying and selling cars. So I've been looking at the car market and what's going on with manufacturers and for this amount of time. Not crazy a long time, but over those 14 years that I've been doing it, this is in the last 3 or 4 years the most recalls I've ever seen. It's not even close. And usually the recalls that we would deal with are like a seatbelt that's wrong. We got airbags that are wrong. We've got some little sensor that's going on. They've got like a backup camera that's faulty, or a little plastic piece that won't stay shut. No, we got motors imploding on people. Toyota, motors imploding. GM, these 6.2 motors imploding on people with less than 500 miles. You just haven't seen this a lot throughout the decades in the car market with this many serious issues. It's usually small things. Now it seems like every other headline that I'm seeing, I mean, just go to Google right now and type in recalls. Last time I did this, there was like 7 different recalls in the last 2 weeks across the manufacturers. Absolutely insane. It's getting worse. You have your biggest offenders, Ford, a lot of the American-made trucks, sadly, but Ford, GM, Stellantis, big-time problems. It's bad. It's bad. What even the most trusted brands out there for reliability, Toyota. I mean, it's been really bad over the last couple of years, and it seems like things are getting worse as things get more expensive. They have to figure out ways to make margins, and the way they make margins is by cutting corners and make cheaper products that people will still pay a lot of money for. And when that happens, I mean, you put so much stress on these motors. These little 6-cylinder motors now that you pump these turbos on and try to get the same kind of performance, it's going to strain things, and that's things break. I mean, that's exactly what we're seeing a lot of right now. Cutting corners, a lot of garbage, a lot of plastic, a lot of cheap parts being put in a lot of these vehicles, and I worry for the future of just car dealers in general in 10, 15 years from now that have to inherit this stuff. I can tell you already the newer stuff that I have to buy, like the newer end of my spectrum. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. So for me to get that price point, the newer end of my spectrum only goes up to probably like 2016. There are so many vehicles in that range that are just untouchable. Anything that's Ford, like the Ford Escape, a lot of the Ford Fusions that are up in that area, where they change the transmissions. Ford Explorers, they change these transmissions, and they're garbage. Like, we won't buy them. I would rather have a 2009 Ford Escape with 150,000 miles for the same price that I would have a 2017 Ford Escape with 150,000 miles. Because that 2009 Ford Escape is going to have fewer problems than that 2017 is going to. So I won't even look at those Escapes, but I'll look at the older body style, just because I know they changed that transmission, they changed that motor, and the newer ones are absolute garbage. So that's going to be something that's going to continue, and there's just going to be more and more vehicles that are off limits. And I mean, as you get with this newer stuff too, there's more tech. And I think right now my biggest problems that I have to buy cars that I'm going to like instantly throw away or send back to the auction that I'm going to lose money on are motors and transmissions. But what have been added in the recent years that are more commonplace? Well, turbos. Turbos are going to cost about the same amount of money as it is to replace a transmission or a motor. So that's going to be another the massive problem for me in the future. Think all these infotainment centers. They might not be as much as a motor transmission, but there's so much going on with them, and you have to have them that when they go bad, and they're going to go bad in 10, 15 years, that's just what's going to happen on these things. I'm going to have to replace those too. And when I do that, I mean, who knows how much that's going to cost? Even if it's $700 or $800, if I'm going to continue to sell cars that are affordable to people and they can still pay cash for them, it's going to greatly limit the amount of cars or the kinds of cars that I'm able to buy, just because of these common issues that are popping up in a bigger way, and just adding in all these extra parts, all these extra electrical systems, all these extra safety things that are being popped up in cars right now. I don't see any world where 20 years from now, I'm a car dealer that sells affordable cars and it's even worth even being in business for, just because of how difficult it's going to be to sift through the garbage that's being put out right now. I don't think I'm gonna have to find another job. I don't know. I've already got a couple other jobs right now. Maybe I'll still be on YouTube whining about the same thing that I'm whining about right now. Maybe I'll just add an extra number to it that's just whining about the quality of car. I don't know. Maybe we'll get into the housing market. What's my next job?
I don't know, maybe a support group for car dealers.
Support group for car dealers that were car dealers 20 years ago. That's what it is. Self-help. I'm going to do self-help for car dealers.
Ex-car dealers.
Self-help for ex-car dealers. And probably need to probably help with drinking problems too. The same group.
Maybe some community service.
Yeah.
Would probably be good for you guys.
Same group.
I bet some of you have experience.
Yep.
All right. Are stolen catalytic converters still an issue?
Yeah, that still happens. It's been a while since we've had a converter stolen, but we have a little bit better lighting and we have cameras everywhere now, but it used to be bigger than it is now. And I wonder if just this is funny, but it's not funny. But it seems as people are getting lazier, maybe the theft is getting a little bit lazier too. So people aren't wanting to get off their butt and go do the hard work to go steal a converter. What's America turned into? All the converter stealers, they're at home with their moms and playing video games all night. We need to get them off their butts to steal more converters. This is not the America that I remember. I remember hardworking. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Hardworking converter stealers. That's what I remember.
Oh, that's the end of the.
That's response. The end of it. Yeah, I don't. Okay. There's not a long thing about me joking about people getting off their butts and going and being petty thieves.
Drink your non-water.
Yep.
All right. Have you ever had a thought about detailing?
Have I ever had a thought? No.
About detailing vehicles better and adding seat covers to make them more appealing?
No, because a $3,500 car that's dirty or has the one number one comment I get is, why don't you buff out these headlights? It's because we go through 65 cars a month. You know how long that would take? Even if it's only 20, it's what, 20 minutes a car to buff out? It's a 10 minutes per. No, there's too much time. And a $3,500 car with buffed out headlights, clean, perfect headlights versus one that's got these foggy headlights that I walk in front of that you're probably seeing a picture of right now. It don't matter. It's still a $3,500 car. You can make the argument that maybe I would sell them a little bit quicker, but there's no scenario where I'm getting more money out of them because the headlights aren't foggy. Maybe I can sell them a little bit quicker. There's an argument there, but the amount of time that's going to take to buff all these headlights that I go through every single month, it's not worth it. We're not doing that. So yeah, so we will sell $3,500 cars that aren't perfectly clean, that don't have buffed out headlights, and you can continue to tell me in the comments how much you hate it. But guess what? It's about volume. It's not about quantity. It's not about quality. We're doing quantity here. That's how we make money. I have to sell at least about 50 to 55 cars every single month just to get to the area where I'm even considering making a profit at my car dealership. So for us to spend the time to do something that's not going to actually make a difference in our bottom line, why would we do it? We're not going to.
They also said that you get $500 more. People tend to click away when they see ugly headlights. You said it yourself. It's about looks nowadays.
Who clicks away when they see ugly headlights?
I do think that exists. That's not the point, though. What you were saying is it might take longer to sell it, which what's insinuated there, what's behind that is that someone else will buy it. So maybe not that first person that clicked away, but somebody else will. And if that person that clicked away keeps looking and then they're like, hey, I can save $500 by getting this one, it does happen enough so that it doesn't make sense for us to do that. We're spending a lot of time driving these O2 sensor codes out, and not the O2 sensor
and
codes,
on average
resets.
right now, like we're selling our cars like within 2 to 3 weeks.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah, so we're going to sell our cars a week quicker. That's not really going to keep our bottom line. I mean, it's not going to affect our bottom line in any way. And honestly, if you click away because the headlights are foggy, I don't want you as a customer anyway, because you're going to be difficult. So you're going to waste my time.
Yeah, going to be nitpicky. And the thing is that because of the way we price, which is based on how much we paid for the car, it doesn't make us more money unless we sell it 2 weeks faster, because then we didn't have to mark it down, and it's just unlikely.
Sir, how often do you send your food back at Outback every week? That's what I think about when someone says, well, the headlights are foggy, so I'm not going to buy the car, because it tells me a lot about the car. No. It's a $3,500 car. Shut up. Sorry, not just you, sir. I'm talking in general to the people that would talk about the headlights.
Yeah. You said a lot. That's funny. I appreciate people that challenge Brandon about this. So.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people, because if it was a lot of people, we wouldn't be doing the volume that we're doing. So no, sir.
I don't know if it's a lot of people or if he sends his food back at Outback a lot.
He said he sends his food back a lot at Outback.
No, I don't know if it's which one it is. I don't know.
I want to believe that he's the one that sends his food back a lot at Outback. That's the situation.
He said I send it back a lot.
Yep. Okay, good. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You're very funny. I appreciate you letting me give you a hard time. I like that. Thank you. Oh, I didn't mean to pull that up.
Also, so Brandon sends his back. So
I don't send my food
back.
back.
If it has mushrooms, I will send it back.
If it's wrong, I'll send it back, but not if it's like I have a wide range of how it's cooked where I'm fine with it. Mm-hmm. And I've been called stubborn, and it's costing me money. Yeah, maybe, but the thing about it is I can't see a world where we're going to be selling X amount of cars more that actually moves the needle because our headlights are buffed.
Yep. Let me see here. You've got 5 minutes left on that hour and a half timer?
I'm still good. If you're good, I'm still good for a little bit.
Okay. Well, in that case, I need to go back through my questions. So do you want to talk about something?
Do you want me to get them to send a bunch more questions?
So here's the thing. I've got some more questions, but if you guys want to go ahead and put in some, even if you've already asked it, normally we don't do that the whole time, but if you want to make sure one of them is towards the end, that would be helpful. So I do have some to go through.
Yeah, I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 questions in me left. Which bear is best? Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
There it is.
Does he say bears beat or bears beats? Because it's beats.
Beats, like his
Got it.
farm.
Yeah.
You're waiting on me. I know. I'm sorry.
I am waiting on you. Here we go.
Oh.
Why don't you get into the truck market, say like around 7K? So here's the problem with trucks. I like to be that car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under. And I know I could jump up a little bit and buy trucks that I could sell for 7K. But to be honest with you, the trucks that I'm going to have to sell for 7K, that means I'm going to buy them for like $5,500. They're still dogs. Like, trucks are so expensive. And that's why you will almost never see a truck on my car dealership. I think in the last 2 years we've had 2. I've got one right now. It's not for sale yet, and by the time you're watching this, it might have already been sold. But we're working on it to get it out right now. It's a little Ford Ranger. I think I paid like $1,700 for it. It's got say like 190,000 miles, no rust or anything like that. But it's kind of rough. It's a little Ford Ranger. It's older. I think it's like a 99 or something like that. I was just able to get it at auction because stuff was going cheap. And it's going to be a very, very rare situation where I have any of these trucks. And if I do, it's going to be something just like this Ford Ranger, where it's going to be probably a rougher truck. It's going to have high mileage, and it's going to be old. So that's why you never see them. Now, if we jump up a little bit and I can buy maybe some of these older like Silverados or F-150s and sell them in that range, the problem is they're still going to be rough, and I'm really not making all that much more money off of something like that than I would be on a car that I could buy for $2,000 and sell for $3,000. So in a lot of cases, it's actually better for me as a business owner and doing the numbers and everything to buy 3 cars with that same amount of money. I can make $1,000 per car, so I make $3,000 total, versus that one amount that I'm going to have to put in that truck and only make $1,500, and that truck's going to be in a lot of cases in a rougher state than those other 3 cars that are going to cost me the same amount of money. It just makes more sense for me as a small business owner to play the volume game instead of really buying something else. Now, you could argue that I'm going to sell that truck a lot quicker than I might sell those cars because there's some more people looking for that truck, and that might be the case. But when I pay up for something like that, and I say pay up, for me it's paying up, because spending $5,500 or $6,000 on a truck is a lot more money than what I pay for the cars that I usually sell. There's more risk involved, right? Because I'm putting out more money. The other aspect of it is, if I have to sell, even if it's a truck, even if it's $3,000 that I'm selling it for under what the market says, a higher amount vehicle is still harder to sell than a lower amount vehicle. You got to think about what I do. I sell cars for cash. People can scrape up $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 to buy a vehicle, but it's really, really difficult for somebody to scratch up $7,000. There's a massive, massive difference between $7,000 and $2,500 that somebody can ask friends or family for, or they have that in their bank account. Most people don't have $7,000. So even though it would be easier for me to sell, if I had like financing, like that truck would go 100 times faster than a $3,000 Toyota Camry at that amount if we finance, but we don't finance. So there's added complication in having more expensive vehicles, because then you get banks involved. You have a customer that has to go to their bank and actually get some money for it to get them to write them a loan for it. And that's not something that I really want to get in. One, I don't like debt, and I don't want my customer to be in a position where they have to get debt to actually buy one of my vehicles. I know people are going to do it anyway. I think like 85% of car buyers are payment buyers. So that's just the nature of the beast. But I don't want to be an accessory to that. I don't like debt. My wife and I, we don't have any debt, any consumer debt. We have a little bit of a mortgage now, and hopefully that'll be paid off pretty soon. But other than that, that's how we live. We want to pay cash for everything. And that's why I like the range that I'm in. And if it means that I'm not going to be able to have trucks on my lot, so be it. I'm okay with that.
Sorry, we got a lot of stuff coming through, so I'm reading. All right. Is your inventory lower now than normal? When I look on Car Gurus, there are only 21 listed. Thanks.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. We got wiped out Saturday and Tuesday, so we sold 7 cars Tuesday, and then the Saturday before that, probably Friday and Saturday, we sold like 10 plus between those 2 days. I don't know. We had a couple crazy days recently, and we also have a lot of cars that were either being worked on or waiting on them to get cleaned. We have a lot in our pipeline right now. We have over 80 cars, I think, right now in inventory, and only like 20 for sale. So we have problems, and that's my fault. That's it all falls down on the owner, right? So our operations are behind right now, and we had a good couple of days. And when that happens, I mean, it's easy for me to have this accordion thing that happens at my car dealership where I can have 3 rows of cars at my dealership. But if we go through 3 days and we sell 15 cars, I'm down to 1 row and almost no cars left. And this happens to us quite often, especially when we do like price drops. Last week, Nate, my sales manager, he went through and he dropped everything by about $500. That's what we do after every couple of weeks, but it just happened to fall on a time period where 2 weeks ago we bought a whole lot of cars, got them out on our lot. We didn't sell those cars within 2 weeks, so they all got dropped by $500. And then what happens? Well, the dam breaks loose, and then all these customers show up all at once, and we sell a lot of cars. And it just so happened this past Tuesday that my sister, who is also works sales, she was on vacation, so I got to sit in the office, and my wife came and helped too, getting all these cars sold. It was a madhouse. We sold, like I said, I think 6 cars and took 1 deposit, and that's a big day. That was a weekday for us, and that's a big day for us, and it was busy. So yeah, we went through about a week of selling quite a few cars. And we probably went from 40 for sale down to 21 in just that short amount of time. And it's very frustrating because I really should have more cars that are coming out quicker. But right now, with how we're set up and getting our cars cleaned, and we only have Alex really to get cars worked on and getting them out for cleaning and then to get them sold. We're behind, and we've got a couple of bottlenecks, and I've got to work through that, and I'm not really sure how to do it without hiring more people, and I really don't want to hire any more people because I hate people. So that's where we are right now. So yes, you are correct. We have fewer cars for sale right now, and we have 80 plus that I own, but only 20 for sale. And yes, that is a problem, and yes, I'm trying to fix it, but I don't know how to do that quite yet.
I mean, it's 85-ish, and that's
85
ish that we have. And that's why I was out taking cars to get them cleaned this morning.
Yep. My wife was getting our cars cleaned this morning because we have a bottleneck, and I have lots of money sitting at our lot that is not for sale, and that's very frustrating.
Love these challenging statements. What do you mean you've been selling good? You've been posting like it's the end of the world.
It is for everybody else. We're doing good though. No, what I will say is, like I have like 2.5 weeks ago, it's like we were dead. Like I had 45 or 50 cars that were either for sale or about to be for sale, and we weren't moving anything. We went through a week where we only sold like 3 or 4 cars, and it's like, it's this weird thing I know it happens in summer too, where maybe it was just a week where everybody was on vacation, whatever. We just couldn't sell a car. And maybe we're just $500 off, but we move prices just a little bit and then everybody buys. So I don't know. But here's the thing with me, with my videos that a lot of times that you see, like I'm telling you what's going on in my world on just about a weekly basis. So if it's a crappy week, I get to make a crappy week YouTube video, and that's what you're going to see. And that's the headline you're going to see. And if we have a good week, then I'll come and talk about just like I'm talking about right here. And it might be good for some car dealers and bad for others. I've talked to a lot lately about our prices at auction have gotten a lot better. And that's led us to be able to sell cars for a lot cheaper. The only reason though that can happen is if the car market is not doing well. We can still do very well if the car market's not, because I price my cars off of what I buy them for and not necessarily off what they're worth. So if a car is worth $5,000, but I go to auction, I'm able to buy that thing for $1,500. I can sell it for $2,500. I can sell it 50% off of what the market says is worth. Even in a bad market, that $2,500 car, that's a $5,000 car, it's going to sell instantly. So if I have a lot of those cars because other car dealers are weak and they're still trying to gouge people and have really high prices, then I'll thrive in that environment. And that's the environment I want. I want the car market to be a very, very bad place. Selfishly, not for you, I don't want this, but for me and my business and my family and my employees. The ideal situation for us is if the car market is a terrible, terrible place, car dealers are in pain, they're struggling, new car franchises have to add so many incentives to even get somebody to open the door on a car. All that is the perfect setup for a car dealership just like mine, because I can buy stuff cheap, I can sell it dirt cheap. And in a lot of cases, I can sell stuff really cheap to consumers. And because of the volume that we're able to do and how many auctions we hit, we can actually make a lot of money in that environment. And that's like the Goldilocks zone for me, is everyone sucks and that brings prices down. And then I can sell cars cheap to my consumers. That's what I want to happen.
I think it would be worth the money to hire another mechanic to get more cars fixed and ready faster.
I agree with that. You ever had a conversation with a mechanic before? They're the most unpleasant people on the planet, and they're the most aggravating. And it's well earned, right? They're in the heat in a bay, cracking their knuckles on the crankshaft of a car every single day. They're breaking loose nuts, and their fish just go straight into the block of this this thick metal motor, and it's they should be mad, right? And then they have to deal with employing other mechanics who are just as aggravated as they are. So they're just miserable people in most cases. So no, I don't want to employ somebody like that. Luckily with Alex, my mechanic that I have, he's my cousin. We grew up basically as brothers. We've known each other, our whole lives. And I hired him not to be a mechanic. He was not a mechanic before I hired him. I actually hired him to start cleaning cars. Turns out he was horrible at that. And then we had him start like driving cars and just doing transport and stuff. And then one day I was like, okay, well, we don't have a lot to do. You want to try to work on a car? And he was like, yeah, I can see if I can figure it out. Because I knew he was smart anyway. I was like, okay, well, I remember the first job. It was a blend door actuator on a Ford Explorer, like an older one. And he went home. He did the research that night and came back. And it's a job that took me, the book says 3 hours. It's a job that usually would take me somewhere around like 2 hours to do. He got it knocked out in like 45 minutes or an hour. So even his first job that he ever did, and on this particular Explorer, he had to take the whole freaking dash out. And he did all that, put it back together, it worked perfectly, and he was done in under an hour. And I was like, okay, well, this is what you do now. And then every problem that came up, he did research, he figured it out. He had no training at all before any of this. And now, however long it is later, now he's my full trusted as my mechanic. As far as I'm concerned, he can do anything. And he runs my operations of my shop. So the only reason I employ a mechanic is because it was him and he wasn't a mechanic beforehand. But do I have the patience and tolerance to run through someone like that again so they can learn while I'm hiring, while they're working on my clock? Absolutely not. I would not do that over again. So the only fix for that is to hire someone who's already a mechanic. And mechanics are horrible people. They're not horrible people. They are. What's the word I'm trying? What did I say earlier about a mechanic? If you never had a conversation with a mechanic, then you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. They are not the most fun people to converse with, and that's not someone I want on my team. Case in point.
Oh, we both clicked on the comment at the same time.
He's a mechanic, and he's already been giving me a hard time. There we go. You're a very difficult person.
I think mechanics are great.
Yep. You must be a real difficult person. Yes. And you probably don't have all your teeth. There you go.
Oh, come on.
I remember listening to a Car Talk episode where they're asking about a older car and who should I get to fix this car. And they're like, Well, you can't take it to any of these like fast quickie lube places. You can't take it to a Ford dealership. This is an old car. You need an old mechanic. So you need to go to a couple family-owned places. And if you walk in there and these mechanics have all their teeth, you run. You get out of there. They can't fix this car. You got to have a mechanic that has less teeth than sense. That's what you need. So 3 teeth, and then they can fix your car. That's what you're looking for.
You guys are in a very cynical, dark mood today. Yep.
Really?
This is pretty.
I feel like I'm in a great mood today.
So behind the scenes, we joke like this a lot, and it doesn't feel dark to us because we know that we're joking, or we know that it's fine, or whatever kind of a thing. But I mean, it looks like we haven't hurt anybody's feelings yet, so I think we're doing great.
I think I should have been. I've been trying to.
Yeah, I know.
I've been trying to hurt Rocky's feelings here.
He's handling it like a champ.
Yeah, he's got thick skin. That's good.
Okay. Here's a question. We were talking earlier about questions coming from customers. I get this one when I'm answering phones. Sometimes I help answer phones too. Is there a coming soon on your website?
No, it would just all be coming soon. There would not be any cars for sale. Right now we got like 85 cars and only 20 for sale. So there would be 60 cars of coming soon, and you would never even be able to find out which cars we're actually selling. But if we did that, that's just an added layer of like pictures and getting information on the car before it's actually ready to be sold. I mean, I guess we could make a list, but even just updating that list wouldn't make sense. And here's the bigger problem is we would have way more calls on the cars that aren't ready to be sold yet than we would on the cars actually for sale. And this is one big frustration that we have at our car lot. We have a line of cars. You see the pictures. We have a line of cars, very obvious what's for sale, and we actually put our prices on our freaking cars. So what that means is that the cars that don't have the prices on them, they're not for sale. If we have a car that has numbers on it and it's in the line of cars that are for sale, that's the cars that you can purchase, but it never fails. People will park at our car dealership. They won't even look at the cars that have the prices on. They'll walk straight to the back of our lot. And my detail guy's back there. Alex is back there wrenching on a car. And they'll walk through those cars. Like we're actively working. Alex is actively working on that car. They're like, okay, how much is this car? No, you go away. We do not want to talk to you. Obviously, these cars are not for sale. They're not going to be for sale for a while. The cars that are for sale have a price on them, and they're bright green letters, and they say cash on them. I don't know how we can be even more obvious to people that are coming up on our lot, but it never fails. They go straight to the cars that aren't for sale. Don't even look like they're for sale. They have groceries in them from the previous owner still in them. They're nasty. They're dirty. They got dirt all over. They have stickers from the auction still on them. They don't even look like sometimes they're faced into the dumpster that we have back there. There's no situation where that car is for sale for you, sir. No. What was the question?
I would ask if I was customer. They were asking if there was a coming soon section.
No, there's not a coming soon. We have cars for sale. They have a price on them.
Yeah, I'll give the answer that I think they're asking for, and kind of the why. We can't do that because we haven't taken pictures of it yet. We don't take pictures of it until it's ready and clean.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this person asking that. That's a logical thing to ask. I'm just venting about the customers that walk up on our lot and go straight to the cars that aren't for sale.
Just so you know, if I was a customer and all of that, I would 100% do that. Because if you can get on, you get the thing that like as soon as it's available, right?
No, you would buy from Carvana or CarMax. No,
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't want to negotiate, so you're not going on a small car dealer lot.
Oh, I don't think that you know. All right.
You're telling me to go look at the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you to go to the back of the lot.
Oh, the back of the lot. Look at the cars that aren't for sale. They don't have a price on them. And let's ask about those because I want to know every bit of information about all the cars.
Because then we'll have more time because nobody else knows about this one. We can have more time to research. The other ones are high pressure. Do you
go into Walmart and walk into the back of their stock room and be like, hey, how much is this, stock guy?
Okay, listen.
And then he's like, this
There's
is
some out
not
there in the front.
even in the store yet.
Mm.
And like, oh, I don't care. I want to know how much this is and when is it going to come out?
Listen, I'm joking 100% for this entire thing, but I like the idea of going to look at the cars that are not ready to be sold because I'm not ready to buy. So I think that it makes sense for a lot of people. See what I'm saying? They need the not ready section.
Well, I don't like them, and they should leave.
Well, about the whole hiring thing. Ron says, you will want to hire me. I can wrench and sell with the best of them. And in the off hours, wavy arm man.
Yeah, Ron, I will absolutely hire you, but you got to be local because I need a full-time employee, not a seasonal employee. I know you're about to retire, but I need you to move down here. You know what? You can just hook up your camper like behind our studio, and then you can work full-time.
Okay, what is your just check in on?
I'm close. Do you have any
it's really
that
really
are,
hard to order them and figure out what we're doing.
Do you have any that's a good question.
It's hard to do that with this many questions. I mean, there's several of them that I think are good questions, but I never know what you think are going to be good questions. We think very differently.
All right, maybe let's pick two more then.
Okay. Why don't you talk more about Mazdas? I think they are better value than Toyota, both new and used.
Value is all about perspective. So I can agree with you and not agree with you there. But they're going to be cheaper than Toyotas and Hondas. As far as value goes, I think reliability 100% goes in the direction of Toyota and Honda. Now, we buy Mazdas. Anytime I see like Mazda 3s and Mazda 6s that are higher mileage in our range, like I'm looking at them at auction. So don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Mazda. I just think that if you look at like a 2006 Mazda 6 with 150,000 miles versus a 2006 Toyota Camry with 150,000 miles, the Toyota Camry is probably going to be $4,000 to $4,500, where the Mazda 6 is probably going to be $3,000 to $3,500, at least where I am in my part of the country with no rust, things like that. I would pay $1,000 more for the Toyota Camry because I think you're going to get $1,000 more value. And this is where the perspective comes in here, because maybe you're like, okay, well, the $1,000 that you're calling value, I'm just calling wasted money because the Mazda is 90% of what that Toyota is. And maybe you even think the Mazda is even a better car. I think the Mazdas look better. I think they're a better looking car than a Toyota Camry, but I can say that there are cars that when I go to auction that I see last 350, 400, 450,000 miles on a weekly basis. I see these kind of miles on these particular cars, and it's not Mazdas. And I can only give you what I see and what my perspective is, and these cars that make it that long. And it's almost never a Mazda 3 or Mazda 6 that I see that has 400,000 miles. But there are countless numbers of times that I can say, I saw a Honda Civic, I saw a Toyota Corolla, I saw a Toyota Camry, saw a Honda Accord that had that many miles on it, and it's not close. Toyota Camry, by far the most that I would see with that many miles. And then a close second is all the other three that I just mentioned, the Toyota and the Honda products. But Mazda is a one-off situation when I'm ever going to see one that has 300,000 plus miles and still running strong. So that is where my opinion comes from. And it's not, I'm going back. It's not that I dislike Mazda. I like Mazda. I really like how they look, and I buy them all the time. And I think Mazda with 150,000 miles is still a good car. It's going to last for probably a long time as long as you take care of it. But there's no comparison between the numbers and the consistency that I see of cars that have over 300,000 miles on them. That is a Toyota, that is a Honda, versus how many that I'm going to see with that's a Mazda. So that's where my opinion is coming from. And I see thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of cars every single week. So that's where my bias is coming in, just because of the sheer numbers of what I see from what I'm paying attention to when I'm going to these auctions.
Hey, I have one that I'll answer if you don't want to answer it. It's a follow-up, and I know you don't always like it when I do that, but
that's fine.
I almost said the answer to this question earlier. We were talking about hiring. Would you consider hiring a mechanic that just graduated from automotive school to avoid the older mean ones?
Yeah, I would. We've tried to actually get like an internship through our local community college. And it was interesting because the person who was over the internships, they were like, kids just aren't signing up for internships anymore, which seems crazy to me. And this seems like the perfect opportunity for a kid like that trying to get like their tech degree, for mechanics, to be able to come and tinker with our cars and do it. And we would pay them. We couldn't get it. We didn't even get the first call or the first email on this thing.
We did too. We had one that was really interested.
Yeah.
But she didn't qualify for insurance and she wasn't even close. And not only that, but she would be unlikely to be insurable at any mechanic shop that's doing things like they're supposed to. And as a car dealer, if we are not following the insurance rules,
Yeah.
we lose our insurance policy. We can't have a dealership anymore.
Was it because she was too young or had too many points on her license?
Neither. She didn't have a driver's
She didn't have a driver's license. Well, they would have to have a driver's license.
And the thing is, like, well, I could have one. I know how to drive. Well, that's not the problem.
Yeah, that's not the thought process that I want working on my cars either.
No, it's not. So here's the other thing that we ran into, that there were a lot of the people couldn't apply even if they wanted to. Like, we wouldn't have seen how many could have, because the age requirement, because of how many years of driving experience you have to qualify for insurance. So a lot of the people that are in these classes are much younger, which would make sense, but you can't get them on their insurance if they're too young.
Yeah, it's funny talking about license and stuff. We get so many customers that will come in without license and try to buy a car. They're like, "Well, I drove here."
Yep.
That doesn't mean that I understand you have the capability of driving the car, but not the legal ability to drive a car.
Yeah, we would absolutely love to get in a paid internship. Even sure, I'm not trying to get free labor, but paid anything like that. We've talked about seasonal stuff and part time and that kind of thing, but it's really hard.
It's hard to hire anybody right now that's worth anything, because people who want to have a job and are good, have good attitudes and good work ethic, they have jobs and they have really good paying jobs, because it's so hard to find people that are just not lazy. Like, even like I'm a millennial, and just my whole generation, like, there's so much laziness. All the guys around even my age want to do is they want to sit at home and play video games, or just do the very minimum in whatever job they're doing, because they're lazy. And the generation behind me is even worse. And now we have this generation coming up that lived through like the pandemic, and that's all they did was they didn't go to school and they played video games. And it's going to be very, very difficult for employers that have actual manual labor to be able to hire anyone, because people just don't want to work, even if you pay good. Like, they just don't want the jobs. I've read so much about how there's a shortage of mechanics. There's a shortage of like construction workers come up. There's a shortage of like city workers that they're for like garbage collection, plumbers, electric. Like, there's a shortage of all these manual labor jobs that are just going away. And that's why a lot of your services are going to go up in the future, because there's going to be such a small pool of these people who actually want to do that job. And it's going to be bad. Like 10, 20 years from now, out of all these manual labor jobs that all age out, they retire. It's going to be very, very hard to replace them. And I've even read a lot where there's going to be a situation where a lot of these white collar jobs that were getting paid way more than a lot of the blue collar jobs, a lot of that could eventually switch because of the demand for those jobs, and the amount of people that are actually wanting to go into those things. There's an unlimited supply of people who can be computer programmers, or now I know AI is going to kill all stuff like that, but people who actually deal with tech, the white collar job that was getting paid so much, there's a slew of people that want to do that job, go work in a desk and go work inside and go do that kind of stuff. But there's none of these kids that are coming up that want to go and weld, right? So the welder is now going to be the six-figure income earner, the 150 to 200,000 dollar a year, and then the white collar jobs are going to continue to go down in actually what they can pay, because there's just so more people that want to do those jobs versus getting their hands dirty. And that's sad in my opinion, because hopefully I mean, I'm gonna train my son hopefully to have some skills and not want to sit around and not do anything. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems like generations are getting worse and worse and worse. And I've got grandpa syndrome, because I'm sure this is exactly the same thing that I heard from my grandfather when I sat around with him 15 years ago talking about my generation getting so much lazier too. So it's just going to keep happening over and over and over.
Will you look at the last two questions I marked and pick one or both?
Last two questions.
And I think that gets you close, but let me know if you want more after that, and I can get a couple ready.
I don't want to answer why don't you sell on eBay?
Why? It's interesting.
There won't be enough substance there. When you pay for it,
it would be way too expensive.
Somebody's asking why don't we sell on eBay? Is because there's not a lot of people that buy cars off eBay, one, and then the fees would be crazy too. And we already have so many places where we're able to sell. Now, I will say, if our sales get weaker, then we'll start looking at any avenue to be able to sell cars. But as long as we're still at least breaking even on the stuff that we're doing, we're probably not going to look for any extra places to try to sell cars unless they're just free to do.
We don't ship, so that wouldn't change with it either. It would have to be a local thing anyway.
All right. Oh, you can read this one.
When you pay for a car at auction and sell it for less than you paid, is that a tax write-off?
Yes and no. Not in the tax write-off that you're probably insinuating, or the one that you're probably thinking about. Basically what it is when we do our taxes is we gross this amount and then we minus whatever our expenses are, and that's going to be our net income of what we're actually making. So when I say yes and no, there's not a direct line item where we can write off a loss, but it comes off of our gross profits. Like if we sell a car, and if we lose $500 on a car because we had to send it back to auction and it's not worth fixing or whatever, then literally $500 comes off of our gross income. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a write-off, but not one that you're actually technically writing off. And in a lot of cases, a bunch of car dealers are going to be the same. Now, I mean, I don't even know what the scenario would be where an individual car would be some kind of line item write-off. Like we've had equipment before where we've been able to take depreciation, and that's with a truck and a trailer. So that's kind of a write-off. And when we sell that, then we could take off money from losing off of equipment purchases maybe, but there's no situation or any scenario where I can even think about where what I think you're asking about, where a specific car could be any kind of write-off. And it's interesting because I see this comment all the time in my YouTube videos when I talk about actually losing money on cars. And they're like, oh, well, what he's really not telling you is he can just write this off and it's just no problem for him. He just saves money on It's not how that works. If I lose $500 on a car, I'm actually losing freaking $500 on a car. And there's not some loophole or anything where I can get that $500 back, because I'm not going to have to pay $500 worth of taxes. Even if my taxes go down just a little bit because my gross income comes down, that's still literal money that's coming out of my pocket. And I don't understand this thing when a lot of people talk about businesses losing money and they can just write it off, so it's no big thing. They're still actually losing freaking money, and they're not getting that same amount of money back in the amount of taxes that they're able to write off because of it. Now, if you look at big corporations that have filings that like in the stock market, these publicly traded companies, then there can be some situations when they're buying property, they can write off net assets, they can do depreciation, they have debt that they can do write-offs and stuff like that. But they're still, even if they have money go out and then not a lot of money come in after that, and they're actually losing money on the front end or whatever, it's still a loss. They still would have had more money if they would have not lost the money on that thing. So it's a thing that I think people ask a lot that have never owned a business, don't understand, and just feel like there's this get out of jail free card for for net incomes when it comes to a lot of these businesses, and they can just write it off. It's not really how it works. If you make money, then this is added to your top line, and then if you buy something and you sell it and you lose money on it, you can't just magically make that loss go away. You can't just account for it in taxes. And there's not some magic thing where you say, okay, well, I lost money on this, so now I don't have to pay the full amount of these taxes. You don't have to pay taxes on the percentage of the amount that you lost. That is true. But that $500 on that car that I would have to, like, I would have been way better off had I actually made the $500 and then paid the taxes on the $500 extra dollars that I'd made. So a lot of people don't understand that, and I get it. If you don't know where the money's really coming from and how we add up the money when I'm running a business, I get it. But just don't think that there's some magical thing for businesses when they lose money. They can just write it off. That's such a common thing that I hear. That's not there's no magic wand. If there is one, I would love to talk to my accountant about it and purchase one of these, but there's not.
One more thing I want to say about that is a lot of people do not understand the difference. They just lump everything together with write it off on taxes, but there's a big difference between a tax credit and something that is tax deductible. They're not the same thing. Tax deductible means that portion of your income you don't have to pay taxes on. A tax credit is actually credit that you get. So a $50 tax credit means $50 more in your pocket. Those are not the same thing. When you change the amount of money that you're coming, so I'm categorizing our transactions. We have a biggest category is cost of goods sold, COGS. Everybody who has a business knows that term. That's what it costs for us to buy what we're selling. Then we have some other categories that are under the same tax rate. Our profit is whatever's left at the end of that. So if we lost money on a car, you get what you paid versus what came in versus what went out. And that's really all there is to it. There are a few categories here and there, but our business doesn't really make sense for any of those. I think you can get a higher, sort of write off for certain types of transactions that we are not interested in because we're trying to keep our expenses lower. And overall, we are still trying to make money here. So that's where we land on that. But even for personal taxes, people get confused between a tax deductible and a tax credit. It's not the same thing.
I saw a funny comment. Let's see here.
Go for it.
He sells used cars. That's why he rattles off this typewriter. I can promise you, I talked like this before I was in the car business. I've always been able to talk a lot about nothing. It comes along with confidence and has nothing to do with being able to sell a car. I'm talking about confidence, but even the stuff that I talk about, I might have no clue what I'm talking about. But because in my mind, I think I know exactly what I'm talking about. That's how I can rattle it off, because I think I'm an expert at everything. Maybe not everything, but in a lot of stuff that I talk about this kind of thing about, then I think I know what I'm talking about. And that's a big false sense of confidence that you can build up over time. My wife loves it.
Yeah, I wasn't even listening. I just have to stop listening. It's really how I survive.
That's it.
And you guys, I will never understand.
We were joking earlier today, and I can't remember what brought it up, but she looked at me and she looked at me right in my eyes. She said, "I don't know why anyone watches you."
True. All right. Okay. So was that? I can't tell. You keep changing the.
I'm good. I'm leaning over now, so I'm.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
I didn't check that. Okay. I need a little line on the wall behind you, like a fuel gauge.
It'll be a level.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when my hat goes from here to here, and that it's about done.
Yep.
I have been talking a long time. That's a long time. I will say that if you watch other creators in our space, and really any other space, it should show you the ones that know their craft and kind of know what they're talking about and can put some actual, some concise terminology around the things that they're actually talking about to let your BS meter kind of gauge what's going on and what's not. There's a lot of creators in our space that would do quick little edits, and you can tell they're going off a script. And there was no situation where they'll be able to actually go for 2 hours and talk about something live and even have the confidence to even sign up for something like that. So if you know of any others that can't really do that, you can kind of can kind of gauge who knows what they're talking about and who's trying to really BS you about a lot of stuff. I said that as nicely as I could.
Okay. So we're in a better mood now than when we started. I guess we're not as dark.
I've been in a great mood this whole time.
Yeah, that's what's funny is I don't know, we have a weird humor that might not always come across in the lives. I think that the fact that it was weird, like maybe a little different earlier, was maybe we're just more comfortable today or too tired to think about it. It's been a long week. Anyway, we're doing great. Hope you're doing well.
Well, I appreciate you guys showing up. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, I'm done. Hopefully we can do this like once every 2 weeks. That's what we're going to try to do. But all of these questions that you were able to help us with today, we're going to make in videos and we're going to put them on our 5th channel, the Real Car Dealer. They've done really well over there. So that's what we're doing. So I want to thank you guys again for helping us make these videos. And got anything else?
Nope.
All right. You guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll check you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.